No data caps, just pure speed. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, all y'all. It is the Chris and Amy Show. Amy Markscores, Chris Ronchi until 11:15 today, almost at 12 o'clock. You don't have us all that long today. Get a couple of hours, and then we're going to bring you Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals will play at 12:15 with an 11:20 pregame show. That's why we are coming to you just a little bit early today here on KMOX, or leaving you a little early. 314-436-7900. Join the show today by calling and texting. Voice messages, you can drop those on the Odyssey app. It's very easy to record and send so that we can hear what you have to say, and maybe we'll actually play what you have to say on the air. And if you like, you can watch the show too. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are at Chris Amy KMOX. You should follow us.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
According to the United States, they are in some sort of negotiation with Iran and could be closing in on a one-page memo to end the war. That's what we hear. We will keep you updated if we hear anything further.
And today is National Skilled Trades Day, and there is an auto technician shortage. Greg Damon of Sparks Tire and Auto joins us next hour to talk about that.
Love Greg Damon. He is the best. And as I mentioned, the Cardinals got rained out yesterday, so they're going to play today. It is a 12:15 first pitch, and we are going to take you right up until that. So, we were talking last week about violence in St. Louis, primarily in downtown, and how the numbers don't necessarily reflect reality, that I think people think it is far more dangerous than it actually is. It does not mean that nothing ever happens. And there was a fairly violent weekend that happened this weekend. But I want to go to this stabbing that occurred at Busch Stadium, which is something that occurred overnight a few days ago. And I think we've all heard about the stabbing. And this was after we talked about it. And the thought was, oh, my gosh, we just talked about how things are pretty good downtown. There isn't that much violent crime. And then a stabbing happens at Busch Stadium. Well, you have probably heard the reports that it was a dispute between 2 cleaning crew members who were there very early in the morning, somewhere between 2 and 3 in the morning. Some sort of dispute happened, and a 27-year-old was stabbed by a 65-year-old who stayed on the scene, waited for police to arrive, and the 27-year-old person who was stabbed passed away from the injuries. So I understand that if you're, and I'd like to know how you feel about this, Amy, but the circuit attorney's office declined to file charges against the stabber, the 65-year-old.
Yeah.
They have declined also to provide a reason as to why they did not. And I get that maybe that is policy, that if you're not going to file charges against somebody, that you just say, we have reviewed the facts of the case. We're not going to file charges, and it's not really up to us to disclose to you why we're not filing charges. That's our policy. Okay, I guess I get it. However, when it is Busch Stadium, it is one of the jewels of our city. You can argue it is the jewel of the city, unless you want to say it's the Arch. I mean, the Arch might be, but it is one of the most populated places in the entire city. Mm-hmm. It's a place that people travel from great distances to come to. So it's a landmark for us. I don't understand not, at least in a case like this, saying, hey, here's what happened. 2 guys got into an argument. It was self-defense. It wasn't like he walked up to the other guy and stabbed him, or we don't really know what happened. We're not going to file charges. I kind of feel like in a case like this, because it is such a high-profile location, that maybe you should give a little bit of detail on it. Don't you think?
I understand. Yes, for sure. And your initial reaction is, wait, why did they not file charges? What's going on? But the thing is, and I am not a lawyer, but I'm sure with different policies and laws, when it comes to someone against whom charges are not filed, well, that person's an innocent person now. So the disclosure of information surrounding that person is different than if that person had committed a crime, obviously. So maybe it has something to do with that.
And they did not name the person who did the stabbing. And they did name the victim.
Amber Raub is the public information officer for the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office, and this is what I heard this morning on Total Information AM. Amber extended a statement, and I'll read it here. Quote, "Our attorneys carefully reviewed the facts and evidence in each case and make charging decisions based on the law and the facts. Homicide investigations often involve complex legal questions, including issues related to self-defense. We extend our deepest condolences to the family of 27-year-old Aaron Jones, who lost his life in this incident." My guess is that's their way of saying it was self-defense. Right? Because if the statement was that homicide investigations involve complex legal questions, including issues related to self-defense, that is an addendum to that statement that, to me, leads you down the direction of self-defense.
Right. I don't know why you don't just say we believe it was self-defense. Just say that. Just say clearly, we think it was just a self-defense thing. The two guys got into a fight. One of them felt way more threatened, pulled out a knife, and defended himself. I don't know why you can't do that.
It's got to be a technicality why they can't.
I'm sure.
Because to me, that statement basically accomplishes that mission. If Amber Raub, if the public information officer for the Circuit Attorney's Office issues that statement and talks about the complex legal questions around homicides, including issues related to self-defense, going out of their way to add that, to me, it would be super weird if it was not self-defense.
Well, maybe
because that would be like misleading the public. That's how it feels.
Maybe it's not so out of the way to say self-defense. Because if you're talking about all complex legal issues, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too bogged down with the minutia of it. But I feel like they should have been clearer and just said, hey, this is what we believe. We believe it was a self-defense situation, which is why we're not pressing charges. So, just say that. They got into a fight. One guy was defending himself, and this is what happened.
I think say that. More understanding in this situation, partly because I trust this office, and you can say that's naive, but
I do too.
But I do trust this office. If it were the previous office, Kim Gardner, that didn't prosecute anything, I would be shocked. I would say, what's going on? Are you again just letting criminals out on the street? But because it is the new Circuit Attorney's Office under the direction of Gabe Gore, and we've seen the prosecutions tick up, we've seen them clear the cases. If I had to bet, I would say, listen, I trust them that it's some kind of self-defense, that there's some kind of technicality where they can't make a clearer statement.
I agree with you, but it's Busch Stadium, and most people are not paying as close attention to what this Circuit Attorney's Office is doing over the last couple of years. I think they know the old Circuit Attorney is gone. I don't know if they know how much is being done here, because from the perspective of people who live in St. Louis, they still think that St. Louis downtown is a very dangerous place, and I am never going there. Not everybody, but there's still a huge number of people that do. So I would just say from that perspective, for real clarity, just to let people know, hey, this just happened to be a fight between two people, and it got out of hand. This was not some guy intentionally going up to another guy and stabbing him to death.
Do you know what, I don't want to say bothers me, but if we're looking at clarity, I'm actually less concerned, at least right now, I feel. I'm less concerned about the clarity of the statement regarding self-defense and so forth, and more concerned that a lot of the headlines just say stabbing at Busch Stadium. I wish they would clarify and say after hours, after hours cleaning crew. Because that's the Busch Stadium, every time I hear that, it's in my head, no one pictures a stabbing at Busch Stadium and pictures an empty stadium.
And nobody,
you always picture it during the game.
And nobody pictures a stabbing at Busch Stadium and thinks, oh, these were two coworkers who just got into a fight and it got out of hand. They think, oh, there's probably a fan there. There was somebody walking around Busch Stadium and somebody came up to them and stabbed them. They just see the headline. So because that headline was the first thing people saw, that sticks for a lot of folks.
So, yes. Okay. going back to why you wish there was a clarification. There's a reason.
It doesn't have to be a ton of detail, just a little, hey, two guys got in a fight, got out of hand, one dude defended himself. It's not murder.
So could we split the difference between the two of us in the sense that what if it was self-defense, but like there always is, but, there's more to it. It's complicated as Rob used the word complicated legal questions. What if it is they can't give more details because it's a little messier? It's self-defense, but messier. If that makes sense.
I guess you could say that.
Would you want them to say that?
Yeah, I would like a little more detail than we're just not filing charges, and this encompasses all sorts of cases, including self-defense.
Yeah.
Just say it was a self-defense. And maybe it's a complicated situation. Maybe they knew each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was already a dispute between the two of them.
Like where it's not a black and white issue. It's like, well, both guys were kind of, being troublemakers or whatever, but ultimately it was self-defense like that.
My point is that I believe when it is a high-profile location like Busch Stadium, which is the place that we are most easily able to get people to come into the city. This is Busch Stadium and Enterprise Center are about the two places, the Arch too, I guess, but we see tens of thousands of people in each building nightly, right? Those are the two main attractions to the city, basically. And this event happens there. I think a little clarity on what happened in this incident would have gone a long way for people. And maybe,
but I think
maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
Maybe if you are on the outside, you live in St. Charles, you live in, an hour away in Missouri somewhere. Maybe you don't even know about this incident. Maybe you do know about it and you're not too worried about it, right? But I think there are a number of people who just want to be totally assured that it wasn't the kind of thing that if they come down here, that could happen to them. That's it.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I do wish the headlines clarified immediately that it was an after-hours third-party cleaning crew. I think that would go a long way because, like I said, I don't think anyone pictures an empty Busch Stadium. When you say Busch Stadium, you picture a Cardinals game. You don't picture it at 3 a.m. while it's empty. That's Chris Ranji. I'm Amy Mark Scores. In just a few minutes, we are going to chat with Austin Proehl, St. Louis Battlehawks wide receiver coach. They've got a game on Friday night with a Ricky Proehl bobblehead. But do you know what Sunday is? Sunday is Mother's Day. And if you're looking for the perfect gift, I've got an idea for you, a great one. Head to one of the Only Facials St. Louis area locations to pick up the Mother's Day signature facial gift box. Now, there's a location near you, so it will be convenient to go pick one up. University City, De Pere, Clayton, Sunset Hills, Frontenac, Creve Coeur, the streets of St. Charles, and now Edwardsville. The special Mother's Day gift boxes from the Only Facial are really the perfect way to celebrate the moms in your life. And even cooler, it's a gift from a local company created by St. Louis women, and it's headquartered right here in St. Louis. Each Mother's Day gift box includes a gift card for one 60-minute, 11-step signature facial, plus complimentary self-care items, all packaged in the Only Facial's unmistakable pink gift box. You'll recognize it. So it is the best way to show mom that you care by giving the gift of time just for her. It is one of my favorite days to go to the Only Facial. So go to the Only Facial, any of the area locations, to pick up the Mother's Day signature facial gift box.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Is your garage door past its prime? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renner's also hiring experienced techs and installers. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
The financial industry is getting rich on baby boomers. Don't be their next victim. Find out the truth of what's really going on in the retirement industry. Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
You know that feeling when two worlds collide, Ranj? Just like, oh my gosh, we've come full circle.
Like it's quaint or something? Like
Well,
enjoyable or not? Is this a two worlds have collided and I really wish they hadn't? Or what is it?
I think because you're Captain Chaos, I think you're going to be glad they collided.
Well, I can't wait to hear this.
Do you remember Mark McCloskey?
Oh, of course I do. Of course I do.
With the famous Central West End
so
picture.
I used to live pretty close to that house.
Yeah.
Because I lived in that neighborhood. And, I mean, it'd take a couple minutes to walk there. And I was telling a friend, she lived in L.A., and I was telling her, I don't know how it came up, but this was years ago. And I told her I lived down the street from that house. And she was like, you did? Like, you live close to them. Like, everybody knew about him. The whole country knew about the McCloskeys.
I mean, his wife was barefoot and I guess in the Hamburglar shirt, and she had her finger on the gun, on the trigger of the gun, which is not
how you hold a gun.
It's not.
I'm not even a gun person, and I know you don't hold a weapon like that.
So it did get some national notoriety. Well, I was listening to Total Information AM. I don't want to brag, but I listen a lot to KMOX. And I was listening to Total Information AM this morning, and they were covering a story about data centers in St. Charles. Remember how we brought up how St. Charles wanted to vote, or at least have a hearing yesterday about whether or not to ban large data centers?
Yes.
Well, that was the story I was listening to, and none other than Mark McCloskey popped up.
My wife carries one of those little 5-shot Smith & Wesson Colt 38s, right?
Oh, she
Imagine 20% chance of the elimination of human beings. And you empty that gun, you put one slug in, you spin the cylinder, and you put it to your head. That's what we're doing with data centers.
Mark McCloskey, I guess, I don't know if he moved to St. Charles or he just showed up at the St. Charles hearing on data centers, but he is against data centers. He does not want data centers to pop up in St. Charles or around the area. I guess it is spelling the end of humanity, but I felt it was a little unnecessary to bring up his wife with the gun.
Well,
again.
it's okay.
That's the one thing we know about your wife.
Couple things about the gun.
That's the only thing I know about her.
That's one. Everybody's seen your wife with the gun. Literally everybody. We all know, big boy.
He didn't have to throw her back into it.
Secondly, not to be pedantic about this, but the situation he is describing where it's like Russian roulette. You take all the bullets out of the chamber, you put one back in. That's a revolver. and he's saying, like my wife's gun, which was not a revolver. It's just a... You can't
play that again, Matt?
play Russian roulette with the gun that she has because you would die if you go first.
It's a revolver.
My wife carries one of those little 5-shot Smith & Wesson Colt 38s, right? Imagine 20% chance of the elimination of human beings. And you empty that gun, you put one slug in, you spin the cylinder, and you put it to your head. That's what we're doing with data centers.
That's
okay,
a
so
revolver.
he's talking. That's a revolver. He's not talking about the gun that she had. So apparently she has 2 guns.
Wait, so she didn't have the revolver? Are you sure?
Yes.
Because it looks like a
No,
little...
it looks like it. The gun that she had was like one of those. Looked like one of those little James Bond guns, you know, from the 60s. He always had the little gun on him. Yeah. It looks like one of those. That's
Okay.
not.
In
she
my
does not
head,
have
the
a
revolver fits the picture.
When the protesters were coming through the
Yeah.
neighborhood, she was not holding the 38 that he's talking about.
It's a little silver gun that she's holding.
Right.
Pistol.
Right. So.
Oh, yeah.
So
But
here's
also,
what this means.
So now she's got 2 guns.
She has 2 guns.
That's the only thing we know about his
Correct.
wife. 2 little guns.
2 very
She
small guns.
likes the little
Yes,
guns.
She does.
Do you remember the show Designing Women?
Yeah.
Just reminded me. I'm pretty sure Delta Burke, who was Suzanne Sugarbaker.
Yes.
I remember I thought she had a little gun. Someone had a little gun, but it was like in a giant purse. So it'd take her forever to find it.
Yes.
But it was one of those little bitty ones.
The gun that she had in the famous photo
Yeah.
was like one of those, I suppose. So
Revolvers, of all the guns, I like them because I like the old-timey nature of them.
I know you like everything old-timey. Yeah.
Even
So
guns.
Cowboys had revolvers.
they did.
Yeah.
So,
But
and
anyway, I
sometimes
don't know-
those the bolt action, not bolt action, but the I don't know.
What are you
I'm not a
talking
gun
about?
person.
You
Like
know the musket?
you know
Talking
the,
about a musket?
not a musket. They had
Finger.
better weapons than muskets. It's the one that has the handle on it on the bottom, and all the gun people are like, "Oh, it's called this."
They are freaking out. They are driving off
I don't care.
Highway
I don't
40
care.
right
How about
now.
that? I don't care. But
I
here's
care.
what I do.
I care about accuracy in
I don't care about
old-timey guns.
accuracy about old-timey, Old West guns with the cock action.
You know
Is that
why?
what they call it?
You know who had a revolver was Bugs Bunny, because he would always use his thumb to spin it. Here's what I know: is we've talked about very serious conversations about data centers, and we've talked about a lot of things on this show that are very serious. But when Mark McCloskey and the St. Charles data centers collided, I lost the plot.
Well, let me tell you
I
this.
completely lost the plot.
I think this is evidence that the data center pushback knows no partisan places. I mean, everybody
I want to
here.
know, did he move to St. Charles, or did he just show up in St. Charles? Was
I
he
remember it being
representing someone?
I remember it being a story that they were moving away from that house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I did not keep up with.
So I don't know. Look, I didn't pay too close attention. I don't care that much about them. But I do remember a story about that vaguely. But the point is that this data center thing seems like you can get agreement no matter what political party you belong to, no matter if you're MAGA or far left or whatever. There's so much anti-data center sentiment out there.
Here's my concern, my serious concern, because again, I was a persuadable voter when it came to data centers. I was very, very hesitant, even anti-data center at first, because I only knew of the large monstrosities in rural areas. And then once I learned more about the different sizes of data centers and how they're around us all the time right now, and in some areas can handle data centers better than others, I just think it has to be a case-by-case basis. The problem is our society right now is not great at nuance and serious distinctions when it comes to having conversations about hot topics like data centers. And what I don't want it to become, which I'm a little afraid it is becoming, is a hysteria. A little bit of a hysteria around data centers. I don't want that. Again, while saying I have my own hesitations against big data centers, like the one that was proposed in Utah that was massive. Was it 70,000 acre?
40,000.
40,000 acre plot of
Which
land.
it's the Kevin O'Leary data center.
And so, and of course the data center in Franklin County, if it's next to Shaw Nature Reserve, that's a concern. But I just think a case-by-case basis is necessary. But I don't know that we'll be good at that.
No, we're probably not. However, it does make me think that sometimes here's one of my flaws. I have this flaw that I might think a certain thing about a certain thing. And then if I hear somebody who I really despise or I think is a complete idiot and they agree with it, then I start to think, well, maybe I have a bad position then. And then I start to think maybe I'm wrong and I'm going to
even the
just
worst
because I cannot
despots.
possibly agree with this person on this thing.
Even the worst of the worst to have, you'll have some overlap.
Battlehawks wide receiver coach Austin Proehl is going to join the show. If that name sounds familiar, that's because his dad is the head coach. Austin will join us when we come back. And Ricky Proehl bobblehead night is coming up as well. So Austin joins the show in just a minute. And right now, FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all during the NBA playoffs. It's every single day they're doing this. There are more ways to build more value every time you play. You can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment, whatever it is you want to do. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay, and you can go for even bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA season, trying to be bold, you're going to want to do it on FanDuel because that app is so easy to use. I really like it. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's not really a sports show. It's just a show.
So I don't really have a sports show, but I love the Cardinals. I am born and bred St. Louis, went to my first game like so many of you, 4 years old. Couldn't believe how green it was standing there next to the players with my dad, and now I go with my kids. You get it. So when you listen to the DGS, it's going to be a slice of life happy hour, but we're always going to talk Cardinals.
The Dave Glover Show at 1. Then stick around for Cardinals baseball.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
51 degrees right now, cloudy with a shower in spots early this morning, then clouds and sun this afternoon, a high of 63. Tonight, partly cloudy and chilly, a low of 44. Weather sponsored by Artistic Decks.
Summer's here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about the Burn Balance Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. And it's Burn Balance Edge for the guys. It's Burn Balance Zen for the women. And what this is very simply a complete metabolism system. It's not just a simple fat burner. It's way more than that. It works with your body to get the metabolism working the way that it's supposed to. So what you notice right away, what I've noticed here in the first couple of months is your shirt will lay a little bit flatter, your pants fit a little bit looser. It's not like that as immediate, but it comes pretty fast. This is a great natural weight loss option for people that don't want prescriptions or injections. If those aren't for you, go to Supplement Superstores and check out the Burn Balance Complex. On top of getting the metabolism working, you're going to get reduced stress with lower cortisol levels. You're going to have appetite control and craving control, all-day focused energy without the jitters that come with energy drinks. And look, it's not magic. You got to do things the right way, but the Burn Balance Complex makes it so much easier. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex for you right there, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
What if your bathroom felt less like a routine and more like a daily escape? Glover here from my friends at Michael's Baths. They can transform ordinary bathrooms into beautiful, comfortable spaces for homeowners across St. Louis and all the surrounding areas. And now they're introducing new premium walls, perfect for those who love the look of stone without the upkeep. It's sleek, durable, and designed to elevate your space. For a limited time, enjoy a free rain shower head or upgrade with safety features like grab bars or a built-in seat. Call us at 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji on KMOX, and the Battlehawks just recently had a win over Louisville, and now they've got the Columbus Aviators coming to town on Friday. It's at 7 o'clock, and the Greatest Show on Turf members will be returning to the Dome on Friday as well. So it's going to be a really cool night here in St. Louis. Joining us to talk about it is Battlehawks wide receivers coach and son of the head coach, Ricky Proehl. It is Austin Proehl on the show today. How's it going, Austin?
It's going well. Just preparation for the week, getting everything done, just trying to get ready for Friday night, trying to, get the guys ready to roll and, obviously be able to put on a good show in the Dome and get another win.
Yeah, we've talked about this, I think, with every single Battlehawks player, coach, anyone involved with the organization, that the fans in the Dome for Battlehawks game are unlike any other fans in the league.
Oh, it's not even comparable. It's not even close. And I'm not even saying that from a biased perspective. I mean, I think any team, any player in this league, they want to play in St. Louis. And that's from a perspective of just the atmosphere to the fans being loud, to just what they do for this league of just, showing up, showing out, being loud, being proud. No matter if they're away, they love playing in front of the 30,000 that they know they're going to get when they step into St. Louis and in that Dome. And, so I can speak for everybody in this league. Everybody loves to play in St. Louis just from an energy standpoint and to be in that atmosphere.
And the love for football here and the support for it goes back to that Greatest Show on Turf era, of which your dad was a part. And I know you were really, really young when that was all going on. So, I mean, how much do you remember that?
I wish I could lie and say I remember it all, but I don't, obviously. And I remember bits and pieces of it. Obviously, Todd Hewitt, our equipment manager here with the Battlehawks, was our equipment manager with the Rams back then. And I remember on Saturday mornings I used to go in with Dad and, help clean the helmets, help get the lockers ready, for game day. And I just love being a part of it, being a part of the locker room. And that's just really what I remember from growing up is being around all those great players, from Marshall to Kurt to Oz to Torrey to Isaac, no matter who it was, just being around them, being in the locker room with them, and then, sharing memories, that I'll never forget.
Do you remember, and it's very specific, and I know you were, 5, 6 years old, do you remember the catch, or does your dad ever did he ever tell you about it when you were younger?
I remember it. No, I remember it, and we got pictures of it, and obviously it was a moment that, he can describe to a T. I can't necessarily describe it to a T just with, me being 5 years old, but, we've talked about it a bunch. Obviously, he's told stories about it, and I've been around for a bunch of those. And, it's a moment that really was a huge moment in St. Louis sports history in general, not just football, but sports history, to make that catch and to go to the Super Bowl and then, ultimately win it, I mean, it's a huge deal. And I think what a cool moment for the city and for that team.
I couldn't imagine being the son of a player on that team and not myself eventually going on to play football somewhere, which you did.
Right.
So was it automatic? You got to grow up around all of that, all those great players, including your father, and then was there any chance you weren't going to play football?
I don't think there was any chance. I mean, it was all I ever knew, and Mom and Dad did a great job of, it was never forced upon me. It was never like, hey, you're going to play ball no matter what. Like, this is what you're going to do. It was never that. I just loved it, man. I loved being a part of the game. I loved being in the locker room. I loved the prep. I loved the practice. And then obviously I loved game day, the best part of the week. And I loved competing, so, and I got that from him. He kind of passed that down to us just every day. The work that you do during the week always will show up on Sundays, and, the preparation and everything else. So I just think it was always something that was ingrained in me, and it's all I ever wanted to do. And it's all I want to do now, obviously in a different role now as a coach, but my job is to get our guys in that receiver room ready to roll, ready to play, and have them in a mindset that, every down, they know it's coming, and they're prepared, and they're prepared to make plays. And, we have a great group of guys who makes that easy, make my job easy and make me look good. But, roles have changed, but it's always been in me.
Yeah, and going back to when you were young, being in that locker room, was there a player on the team that you remember talking to the most, or who reached out to you the most?
Yeah, I think me and Marshall were pretty close. I remember like I said, on Saturdays, I used to go in, help Todd clean the helmets, clean up the locker room a little bit. And I remember Marshall's helmet, I had like a little good luck charm I used to do when I was a kid, when I was 5 or whatever. And I thought, Todd ended up making me do it every week. And obviously they were what they were, and Marshall was what he was, a Hall of Famer. And it was something that's special. And Marshall was always great with me ever since I was a young age and to this day. So he's always shown me nothing but love. But they were all great, to be honest with you. I mean, they all kind of took me under their wing and were always, messing with me, talking crap to me since I was young. And it was just cool. I loved it. I loved every second of just being a part of their group as much as I could. And then obviously, getting to watch their success and being the greatest offense in NFL history was pretty cool too.
Talking with Austin Proehl, the Battlehawks receivers coach, with us on KMOX. You had a taste of the NFL, and, that part of your life is over in terms of being a player. When did you know you wanted to go into coaching?
I think it was even when I was playing. I think, you always have to have a thought of what you're going to do when it's all said and done. And I think, I obviously wanted to play for as long as I could. I had a couple of injuries, got banged up, and, but I always knew that, like I said earlier, that the game was kind of, ingrained in me, and it was always something I wanted to do. Dad was a coach for the Panthers, the receiver coach for the Panthers when I was in high school, and I got to go down and be a part of his meetings and be in those meetings with Ted Ginn and Kelvin Benjamin and Steve Smith, Brendan LaFell. So I was always kind of around the game and the preparation and always kind of watching and learning him. And I always knew I just wanted to be a part of this game, and it's, now and I have the next best thing, right? The job of just, helping guys be prepared and putting them in positions to be successful, to live out their dreams, just like I had the opportunity learning from my dad, so I think it's definitely the next best thing. I love being able to coach these guys and help them live out their dreams and try to help them be successful and count their goals and just continue to strive to be great.
And so, of course, you are now working for your father. What's the interview process like with your dad?
It was tough. It was tough. If you know anything about my dad, it's not, nothing's going to come easy. You know what I'm saying? He's worked for everything he's had. He's busted his ass to get to where he's at. And he expects everything to be at a high level. Every coach, in our building, is expected, to coach at a high level and be there for their guys and put their guys in positions to be successful, and that's being prepared. So obviously the receiver coach he was, it's a high ceiling, to live up to, but everything I've learned has been from him. So it's been a good transition. We kind of feed off of each other at moments, and I tell the guys in the room all the time, listen, like, he's the best receiver coach, I believe, in the country and in this sport. So the more you can learn from him while you're learning from me, and we can kind of feed off each other, man, you got a two-headed monster. So that's kind of how we're rocking and rolling over here. And I think you're getting the play on tape that you'd expect from the guys in the room.
A lot of times those of us watching sports, watching at a bar somewhere, will have that discussion about who is the best athlete in the world, or what sport, what position. And wide receiver always comes up, whether you're comparing it to basketball, baseball, hockey, running, what have you. And just the skill set needed is so complex, and there's so many skills to be a wide receiver. How does that change or affect how you coach wide receivers when it is something, a position that's predicated on having a lot of natural ability in the first place?
Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, being a coach, and something you have to learn early on in your coaching career, is you have to know your players, right? And I think every player, every dude has a skill set. And my job as a coach is to put their skill set in the best positions to be successful. And I think that's the biggest thing you got to learn, and you got to learn it quick. This guy does this better. This guy's more of a deep threat. This guy's a vertical, going to stretch the field vertical. This guy's a route runner. He's a ball possession, right? Let's get the ball in his hands and then let him work. And that's on a coach. That's on us to be able to watch tape, know our guys, and then put them in positions to where they fit the scheme in the best way possible. So that's been cool, just to be at this level, be at this pro level, and be able to mix and match, with the different talents, the different body types that we have in our room, from a route running perspective to a speed perspective, whatever it is, and be able to put them in positions that, hey, Hakeem, go take the top off, or hey, go run this dig and go catch it over the middle and be a big body, or, Stevie, who's a great route runner, but also can roll. I could go through all of them, obviously. Blake and Peasy, who, are great underneath and option routes and making people, look stupid in certain scenarios. So I just think it's been so cool to just fit their skill set to our offense and try to put them in the best positions to just continue to be successful.
This Battlehawks team, Austin, is 4-2 on the season. Looking at the standings, DC's in first place. Battlehawks are right there behind them. What, if for people who have not had the opportunity to go out and watch, what is the identity of this year's Battlehawks team?
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's preached since day one is just a hard-nosed football team, right? They're going to show up. They're going to know what they're going to get, right? The opposing team, whoever we're playing, we're going to show up and we're going to be ready to play. They're going to play their ass off, hard-nosed, physical, and then we're going to finish, right? We're going to set the tone in the first half, and then we're going to finish the game, right? We're going to be conditioned. We're going to know what to do, and then we're going to play at a high level, and we're going to play together. We're going to finish plays. We're going to defense. They're flying around the ball. And their offense, we're going to play fast. And we're all helping each other score, right? Whoever's got the ball in their hands, we're blocking for each other. We're playing complementary football. And that's how you win championships, right? And it's complementary, whether it's on offense and receivers are playing complementary football of running backs and tight ends, or it's complementary football of offense and defense. And I think our defense is the best in the league, and I think that shows up on each and every day that we have a game or we play. And, I mean, it's just playing complementary, hard-nosed, tough, physical football. And I think that's what you're going to see each and every time we step in that dome or we're playing in a way that they know they're going to get our best shot.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing the game against Columbus on Friday at the Dome and the return of some of the members of the Greatest Show on Turf team, which has people here remember fondly, as you very well know. Austin Proehl, good luck on Friday. Good luck for the rest of the season. It was really great to talk to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. We'll see you this weekend.
Battlehawks wide receivers coach Austin Proehl joining us here on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Some Sundays are made for the water. Sunday, May 17th, as the Cardinals take on the Kansas City Royals, make it a ballpark day, too. That day, you can score a Cardinals boat tote presented by Coca-Cola and Walmart. A classic summer bag that fits right in from the dock to the dugout. It's ready for long weekends, sunny afternoons, and whatever plans you have next. Get tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing: IRS problems. And we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Right now, inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake up the markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs, so this is not the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve Auld and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, May 6th and May 7th. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines may impact your returns, and whether your retirement strategy is truly stress-tested for today's economy. This event is complimentary, and you must reserve your seat today. 636-230-8824. You can also get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, since we were texting about it, did you see, which you did, Ted Turner has died. The founder of CNN and 24-hour cable TV news.
87? Is that how old he was?
Yes.
Yeah, that's we were talking about it here before that we both kind of thought he was already.
I thought he died
I thought
like
he passed
10
away.
years
Yeah,
ago.
Me too. I know he's not obviously been in the public eye for a while, but
yeah,
it's really sad because, I like that we have access to 24-hour news if we want it, but it kind of was not the best thing for us in hindsight.
no, I don't think it was at all. I think it's
24-hour
terrible.
cable news is probably
Because
not the best.
You have to fill the space somehow.
Yeah.
And you're never going to fill the space by saying that the news you're currently telling us is unimportant. So there is an inflationary effect on 24-hour news. And I think it's really bad for the public psyche.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I just remember as a kid always seeing Ted Turner at the Atlanta Braves games.
Oh, yeah.
I just
Yeah, that's
remember,
right.
and I don't think my grandpa liked him. You go, oh, there's Ted Turner. I don't like that guy.
Why?
Didn't he make wasn't he kind of a stinker?
I don't remember much about him.
I mean, I did, obviously. I remember he said something like, heaven seems like a really boring place. And I don't know. For some reason, that sticks out. I remember being a kid, and he said something like that. And I just remember my grandpa didn't like him, but he would always go to the Atlanta Braves games, obviously.
Well, did you see that there may be a new way to treat heart palpitations?
Yeah.
So, a 29-year-old man in Queens, New York, went to the hospital because he was suddenly having these heart palpitations.
Yeah.
So they were preparing to do all sorts of different tests on him.
Yeah.
And he had a heart rate that was 140 beats a minute. A normal heart rate, as you know, is 60 to 100 beats. So he was at 140, said he had no prior history of anything like that, but this happened. So they were starting to do some tests, and before they gave him a cardioversion. Do you know what a cardioversion is? Because I don't.
I don't.
And
I thought you were saying a cardio version of something else.
No, it's called a cardioversion.
Okay, no.
And they required an anticoagulant to prevent blood clots.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But they had to first make sure there was no gastrointestinal bleeding.
Okay.
So the doctor did a
little whoop.
Little.
Yep. Yep.
Little rectal exam.
Yeah.
And his heartbeat went back to normal.
I'm better. I'm better.
So they didn't even get to the part that they were going to use to treat the heart. And his heart rate went back to 80 beats per minute. Just
You know why?
by getting a finger up there.
It's the vagus nerve. It is. Because your gut and your brain are connected, and all of it, and your heart and all of that. And that's why if you have a stomach ache, you can pass out. Or if you're stressed, you feel sick to your stomach. You
Yeah.
ever get the nervous, you know what, where you got to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, well,
That's
I don't
what that
get that,
is.
but I do know people who would get nervous and they'd say, I have to poo. And
Okay,
that's what they would say. So
It's all connected. The gut-brain connection, baby.
now, this is not to say that if you're having heart palpitations to put your own finger up there. I don't
No,
think that you want to do that.
I know, never. I would not know.
But
I think
it's-
it was a happy accident.
It's almost as if his heart said, whoa,
Whoa,
hey, I'm fine,
It's
I'm
not
fine.
that bad.
Calm down.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what his heart said.
Hey, did you know that today is National Skilled Trades Day? We love the trades, and we know that there are tens of thousands of openings for auto service technicians and mechanics that we're going to need each year for the next decade or so. To talk about that with us is Greg Damon, the general manager of Sparks Tire and Auto in St. Charles, friend of the show, friend of KMOX. You've heard the auto show before. Greg Damon is the best, and he's next on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
When you serve as someone's mentor, you are making an investment with a limitless return.
I cannot think of any one particular thing that costs nothing for a business and pays off so well as a mentor-mentee relationship.
Rick Cobb of the workplace consulting firm To Discern says corporate mentorship programs make good business sense.
It reduces your cost of hire, your cost of retention.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at ledermanlaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 10 o'clock. It's cloudy and 52 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. In a sudden turnabout, President Trump has paused the U.S. Navy mission to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz. He says because there is hope for further direct discussions with Iran. Here's CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
There was a possibility within the next 48 hours of a breakthrough with the Iranians, not on a big nuclear deal like the one that he has been pushing all along and saying was necessary, but on a smaller memorandum of understanding to start negotiations in the first place.
Yesterday, the president said Project Freedom was a breakthrough military operation, though just a couple of ships had been escorted, and a French container vessel was fired upon, causing damage and injuries to crew members. Ted Turner, the founder of CNN and the 24-hour news cycle, has died at the age of 87. CNN anchor Wolf Blitzer, during his show, said Turner was a very supportive person, very supportive of the reporters in Baghdad during the start of Operation Desert Storm.
They stayed, they risked their lives, and it was just a major moment in the history of CNN. But it was Ted Turner who said to them, if you want to stay, we'll support you, we'll do whatever we can to help you. You don't have to come back.
A public hearing on St. Louis City data centers zoning is set for Monday. The city's planning and urban design agency says the point of the hearing is to establish clear and thoughtful rules on when and where data centers can be developed in St. Louis City. A crowd showed up to the St. Charles City Council last night to debate a proposed ban on data centers within city limits. Opponent Scott Roop says the ban is just pandering to a small group online.
What is this ban actually gaining? Other than just a few accolades of a couple hundred people on Facebook, what is it actually gaining the city? Because from where I sit, the answer is nothing.
Resident Tim Klein pushed back on that.
As far as a couple hundred people you're talking about, there's a lot more than a couple hundred people that have a problem with this. A lot more. And most of them aren't on Facebook.
A final vote on the amendment is expected on May 19th. From the KMOX Business Desk, Apple has agreed to a $250 million settlement in a class action lawsuit over false advertising of Siri's AI capabilities.
The lawsuit claims Apple misled consumers by promoting features that did not exist when the iPhone 16 launched in 2024. If the settlement is approved, owners of those phones could receive at least $25 and up to $95 for each eligible device. Apple sold about 37 million of the iPhone 16 devices.
At CBS's Jim Krasula, Apple has been trying to keep up with AI advancements but hasn't delivered on the promised Siri updates. The company is expected to unveil an upgrade soon.
Remaining cool this afternoon as clouds break for some sunshine, high 62, then partly cloudy tonight, low 44. Sunshine mixing with clouds tomorrow, high 68. Friday, some sun followed by increasing clouds, breezy and warmer in the afternoon with a shower, perhaps a thunderstorm. Friday's high 75. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cloudy and 52 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy for Team Renner here, America's oldest family-owned garage door company serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
It is hour 2 of 2 in 15 minutes today. Because we're not doing 3. We got 2 hours and 15 minutes of show today because the Cardinals pregame is happening at 11:20 and then first pitch at 12:15. Cardinals and Brewers. It is the second game of the series, supposed to be the third, but they got rained out yesterday. So Cardinals looking for a win this afternoon. We are joined now by Greg Damon, the general manager of Sparks Tire and Auto in St. Charles, because today is National Skilled Trades Day. And we've talked about the trades a lot on this show, of it being a pretty good direction to go in life if that's what you're looking to do. And there are tens of thousands of openings for auto service technicians and mechanics that are going to be projected on average each year for the next several years. So we thought we'd talk to Greg about that and what it means to be a mechanic or an auto service technician. Greg, what's going on?
How you doing, guys? Thanks for the little motley crew coming in too. I appreciate that.
Hey, we know that you love that, so we wanted to make sure. You felt right at home.
At first I thought you were referring to us, like we're the motley crew, like a little motley crew here. We're always.
He wouldn't say that about us.
We're always this. This is our show.
No, I would never say that. Well, not in public.
No. So let's talk about first why there are so many openings in this line of work. Because you would think, everybody needs a vehicle. Some people, I guess, suppose get by without it, but you know what I mean. People drive,
sure.
And so there's always going to be need for somebody who fixes the car that you drive. Why will there be so many openings in this line of work over the next decade?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of openings right now, even here in the St. Louis area. We've been looking for a technician for well over 2 years now, and can't find anybody that will either fit in with us or even shows up for the interview. We probably had 200 interviews scheduled, and I bet 3/4 of the people never even showed up for the interview.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of crazy with that. You know, the average age of just an automotive technician today is 40.2 years old. And it just keeps getting older and older every year. There's not a lot of young people that come into the field. I want to say, when I was, and I'm an old guy. So, when I was in high school, we had a vocational center as part of our high school. I was able to take auto mechanics class in my junior and senior year of high school. And I think a lot of high schools today, they don't have a vocational center. They don't have woodworking or metal shop or automotive mechanics or anything like that. So number one, I think that doesn't, unless somebody in your family is in a trade, that doesn't really give you any sort of insight into what kind of great field that this could be. And it seems like everybody tries to push everybody to go to college. Not that that's a bad thing, but there's some fantastic schools out there for the trades out there, and you can make a great living and have a great life with it.
Just going back to this number, because it's shocking that about 70,000 openings for auto service technicians, as we said, and mechanics projected on average each year through 2034. That shortage, is that on par with the shortage that we're seeing across all the trades or a lot of trades like plumbing, electricians, carpentry, or is auto mechanics above or below that?
I would say it's probably a little bit above. There's shortages for every trade out there. But I mean, you look at the automotive trade today, and I think I've been involved in the greatest advancement in automotive technology. When I started, it was still points and condenser and spark plug replacements, things like that. And today, cars are all computer driven. There are so many modules. You don't roll down your window. You ask the computer if it's okay to roll down your window, and then it rolls it down for you. So, it's just in today's world, you have to be really computer savvy. If you are fantastic with computers and know a lot about electronics, you can set your own rate, because everybody needs somebody that's fantastic in diagnosing these vehicles today. It's kind of difficult to diagnose them, but it's also very rewarding as well. Even though we still do tires and brakes and things like that, most things are driven by electronics and also computer repair. And to me, it's one of the best jobs ever, because every job you do is different. You could be doing some brakes and then turn around and have a check engine light on, and then you could be doing a water pump. You're not sitting behind a cubicle all day. You get to be outside sometimes. You get to see outside constantly. So to me, it's a really great job.
Greg Damon joins us on KMOX, our automotive expert here. And what is the difference between an auto technician and a mechanic in terms of the training that goes into each?
Well, it's funny with our profession here in the automotive industry, there is no licensing or anything else for you to become a mechanic. There's some fantastic schools that help you along with that, but you don't need a degree, you don't need a certificate, you don't need anything like that to work on cars. It's kind of funny, even as what we talked about, how savvy they are today, but you don't need anything. But the difference between a mechanic and an automotive technician is a mechanic can replace parts on cars, but a technician is going to be able to diagnose that car so you know exactly what parts need to be replaced or where you need to go with it to get it repaired correctly for safety for your family.
It's so interesting when you were talking about computers and how cars are driven by computers now so often. You don't really think of that when you think, or I should say I don't. When I think of a mechanic, I mean, I focus on, the engine and that part of the car versus, sure. You're right, the electronics now almost overwhelm the functioning of the car. And so that's a pretty wide skill set to be able to work on both elements of that car.
We actually have a car here now that the air conditioner was not working. The air conditioning compressor was not turning on. And the reason it was for that, it wasn't getting a signal from the air conditioning control module to turn that on. So you would turn it on the dashboard, would show the light coming on, but the computer was not sending a signal to the compressor to turn it on. So that's just kind of the weird, wacky stuff we see every day.
In your experience, a problem with the electronics, with the computer part of the car, is that a lot of times more problematic, harder to fix than what's the engine, what's under the hood?
I'm gonna say yes and no. You still have to have the basics. I mean, the engine hasn't changed. We use that internal combustion engine forever because it's the best thing we have going. So, most guys that come into this field already kind of have a handle on, engines and how they work and things like that. What really gets into it, though, is how that is applied. So how do you get the most efficient fuel efficiency out of it? How do you get the lowest emissions out of it? And that's how it's applied via computer. And that can change between model year for the same brand, and it can change immensely between brands of vehicles and manufacturers.
Greg Damon, who's with us on KMOX, we love to talk to you about car issues in general. And And as we talk about what's going on now in the automotive industry, and there's been so much change, as you mentioned, so much progress, and I guess some people would argue that the progress is not necessarily good as we go to the electric vehicles. Other people love that. What do you think the future of the automotive industry is going to be? So like 15, 20 years from now, how different will our vehicles be than they are right now?
Well, it's that's kind of crazy to think about that because let's go back 25 years. Who would have ever thought that you see cars that get upwards of 30 miles to the gallon driving in the city? Cars today virtually do not pollute anything out the tailpipe with all the emission stuff, the catalytic converters, things like that that's on it today. You look back when I was growing up, man, every car smells like fuel because there's so much raw fuel coming out the tailpipe. And my kids, we seen a hot rod car the other day. They're like, "What's that smell?" And I'm like, "That's how they used to smell."
That's how my car smells. My Outback smells like that.
It's loud.
Well, we need to get it in here and take a look at it.
Yeah, you do.
But if I had to guess, they try to make it more fuel efficient every year. They try to make it safer every year. I don't see the internal combustion engine going away anytime soon. I still think that's going to be our major power plant. Diesel is right there as well. They've made so many strides in diesel as far as fuel mileage and emissions. Will the electric car ever take over? Maybe someday, but we still really don't have the infrastructure for something like that. And who wants to own something that, hey, I may get 150 miles out of, and then it's going to stop on me and I can't move it? I think personally, hydrogen cars are the way to go, but that's a long way off, and we don't have infrastructure for that.
What about self-driving, fully autonomous vehicles? We know that Waymos are out there and giving people rides and getting stuck because they're confused. So how close are we, do you think, to most cars on the road being self-driving?
I think we're on the cusp of that. Personally, I don't like it because I'm old and I want to be in control. But I think we're on the cusp of that. Again, we don't have a lot of infrastructure, and what people really don't know about, like the Waymo car, or you see the commercials of the vehicles that they take their hands off the wheel, and what that is that, all cars today have cameras all over them. And so what the camera is looking at is the side of the road, the white line. You're looking at the yellow line in the middle, and that's how they kind of adjust everything. But what happens when it's snowing? What happens when it's raining? What happens when it's dark outside? All that factors into it as far as, hey, you have to change things, and things may not act correctly because of that.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why these self-driving cars and electric vehicles all originated in California. Yeah, that's the tech hub, but that's also where you have perfect weather all of the time. You don't have a severe climate, so it's not going to affect the batteries. You're not dealing with snow for the most part. So those cars, a lot of times that work really well, maybe in, San Francisco, might not work the same in North Dakota.
Well, it's 100% correct because nobody ever factors into that. And even throw this, look, here in the Midwest, or we'll go St. Louis area, we have a harsh climate for cars. We see 0-degree temperature in the winter, and we see over 100-degree temperature in the summer. That is really harsh on a car. It makes things work extremely hard. As far as these self-driving cars and electric cars and everything else, it takes extra technology to make them operate in a climate like this. That self-driving car, it doesn't know if it's 20 degrees below zero or if it's 90 degrees with 87% humidity outside. And that's going to make cameras and everything else work completely different.
I'm like you, Greg. Maybe I'm very tactile in that sense. It took me a long time to get used to the push button start. I liked putting the key in the ignition and turning the ignition, turning the key. My first car I had the crank windows. So I feel like
kids today don't know what that is.
I know. The more you rely on electronics, I feel like the less control you have when things go wrong. And I know we need to let you go, Greg, but I want to say that former Blue and beloved Blue, Darren Kimball, reached out and said, hey, Greg, you're missing those Missouri River Otter games?
That's right. Yep. My good friend Kimby, he's a great guy, and I wish him nothing but the best. He was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Well, does he come to you to get his car fixed?
He does not, but he lives over in Illinois.
In Granite City, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is right. I mean, that's a long haul to get your car fixed, but if you trust the guy, you got to go to him.
Does that break your two-river rule?
Yes, it does, but I would do it for Greg.
Well, you know what? I actually have a really good friend who lives in Chicago and brings both of their cars to me just to have them worked on. So it's kind of crazy.
I went and got an oil change with Greg a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could go to a Jiffy Lube, and then here's what Greg Damon tells me. And we were at the ball game. It was early in the season, so like the first week, I think, first couple of games. And I said, hey, I need to get an oil change. So I just go to one of these places. And he says, you're better off just bringing it in to me because sometimes they forget to put the new oil in. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that then. I'm not going to do that. Greg Damon, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
That's the GM of Sparks Tire and Auto, our automotive expert. We always go to him whenever we need answers. It's Greg Damon on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A Mother's Day to remember. Join us May 9th and 10th at Warm Springs Ranch for the Budweiser Clydesdale's Parade of Champions, a never-before open-to-the-public chance to see our majestic stallions braided, polished, and showcased like true champions. Browse the gift shop and make a full day of it. Doors open at 9:30 a.m. Festivities run until 3 p.m. Enjoy live demonstrations and meet a Clydesdale up close. Tickets are limited. Go to warmspringsranch.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX 104.1 FM. If you have not switched over to 104.1 FM from the time that we overtook it, what's the matter with you? We've been here for a while. You can still listen on 1120, but the Odyssey app is also a great way to do it. Amy, a question for you.
Oh.
How do you like In-N-Out Burger?
I've never had In-N-Out Burger. That's California, right?
Yeah, West Coast.
Yeah.
A lot of West.
I have never had an In-N-Out Burger, and it has been a long time since I've had a fast food burger. But how far east does In-N-Out go?
Well, it's funny you should ask.
Okay.
Because they are expanding in 5 states. All right? So, they're in California. They are in Nevada.
Texas?
They're in...
Texas is Whataburger, right?
Arizona.
Texas is Whataburger.
Whataburger is a big Texas thing.
Yeah.
So they are about to open in states like Colorado, Texas, Nevada. They've already got some, Oregon, and Tennessee. They are coming
I thought
to
you were going to
Tennessee.
say Missouri.
Nope, they're
Tennessee
bypassing us.
Is way far east.
They're going right past us to Tennessee.
Are they going specifically to Nashville?
They probably are.
Yeah.
Let's see. In fact, Madison, Tennessee. So is that close to Nashville? I'm assuming it is.
I don't know. It might be a suburb.
Yeah.
Like Brentwood or Franklin.
I know people like In-N-Out Burger.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who have been out that way or grew up West Coast and they've had it, they just swear, it's the best thing that's ever happened. Anthony Bourdain used to talk about In-N-Out Burger like it was the greatest thing on earth.
Is it a smash burger?
Yeah, it's a smash burger. It's just let me tell you a thing about In-N-Out. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think they've raised prices like all these other places have at the same degree that all these other places have.
Is In-N-Out closer to Burger King or High Point?
It would be closer.
Or Shake Shack.
So they're simple burgers.
Okay.
It would be closer to Shake Shack, I think, than it would be to...
Shake Shack is a good burger.
Shake Shack's good, but they don't get, I wouldn't say they're super creative the way High Point is. And it's a better Steak and Shake.
Okay.
I think they are far better than Steak and Shake. But I do think In-N-Out Burger is dramatically overrated. People talk about it like it is, like if you've gone to In-N-Out, they talk about it like you have picked up gold.
They do. I would have to see it, taste it to believe it. I will say before we got Shake Shack here, right, when it was in like New York, for instance, years ago, I went to a fancy dinner in New York and I was so full. Mm-hmm. I just feel like I couldn't eat another bite. But my friend was like, we have to go to Shake Shack while you're here. This is our only chance. I said, I can't. I'm so full. He said, no, we'll get a burger, fries, and a shake. And then take a bite. Just take a bite and then we can give it to someone. I mean, it's New York. There's always someone on the street, right, who might want your Shake Shack. I said, okay, that's a good idea. And so we went to Shake Shack and it was like 10:30, 10 at night, super full. We ate the whole thing. I don't even think
Shake Shack's good.
I think it was gone in 5 minutes. It was so good.
I'll tell you another thing. I think that Five Guys is better than most. I think Five Guys is really, really good. but they are crazy expensive.
Okay, that's
It
what I
is
heard.
so expensive.
My brother
oh my God.
had some like bachelor party event that they were going to, but beforehand they said, "Hey, let's go grab a sandwich or something." And they went to Five Guys. My brother said, there wasn't a lot to choose from where they were going. And he said, Five Guys is good. He said, at least it's decent, but it is really expensive.
Man, I don't know what's going on over there.
What
but
are those Five Guys doing?
I don't know, but they need to reel it the hell in because it is way too much. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we're going to talk some Cardinals baseball with Mark Sweeney, Cardinals TV analyst and former player, as you well know. Cardinals and Brewers play today at 12:15. We got the pregame show right here on KMOX starting at 11:20. That's 104.1 FM and the free Odyssey app.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Before a nation, there was an idea. Before freedom, there was a sacrifice. This year, KMOX marks America's 250th birthday. Step into history with John Hancock and Michael Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, as they pulled you into the moment where everything was on the line. This is the sound of a nation being born. Celebrate America, 250 years strong, with Hancock and Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, only on KMOX.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
52 degrees, cloudy with a shower and spots late this morning, then just clouds and maybe some sun this afternoon. A high of 63. Tonight, partly cloudy and chilly, a low of 44. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Now, the Cardinals Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Base is full, and the pitch to Herrera is lined towards left center field, and that is over the head of the outfielders and off the wall. 1 run scores, 2 run score. Here comes a runner from first, play at the plate, not in time. A 3-run double for Ivan Herrera.
Cardinals playing some pretty great baseball right now. Really fun to watch this team, and they will get back at it today. Not too much time between now and first pitch. That's at 12:15. We are taking you to the pregame show on KMOX, which will happen at 11:20, and we hope you'll listen in to that. We are joined now by Mark Sweeney, former Cardinal and television analyst. He's got pre- and post-game duties today on Cardinals TV, and he joins us now on KMOX. What's going on, Mark?
How are you guys? Exciting game today. Nice finish to a division series, so looking forward to this one.
You know, we are looking forward to it, too, because this team is just through the month of April, now into May. They keep playing good ball. The results are there. They're doing it by winning close games. They're winning in extra innings when they get the chance. So how is this team doing this right now?
Collectively, Chris, and I think that's the best version of what they're trying to do. Going out there, playing free-spirited, being able to say, you know what, it doesn't matter who we play today. We're going to play the same version of it. This turnaround has been really nice pitching from the starting rotation, so I like that sight because, as we know, I think the true vision of what this team does, and they're going to show every single day, no matter what, is defensively they look very, very good.
It's been such a fun team to watch. You never quite know what you're going to see going into any given night, but I think the one consistent thing, it harkens back to what you just mentioned. This team feels like a team more than just a roster. And that's not always guaranteed when you put a group of guys together.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get, and you want to play close games at the beginning of the year, and you're hearing a lot of teams, already 2 teams have fired their manager because they haven't played good baseball. I think the Cardinals came into spring training, and from day one, they realized, hey, we got to play together. We got to have conversations about what it looks like if we're not playing the way we're supposed to play. And I think Ollie and his group have really resonated with this young Cardinal group that has played inspired baseball. They played close games at the beginning of the year, and when you win those, you go back to your ways of playing. That's when you identify yourself. And I think the identity of this club is we're going to go out there, we're going to play our version of baseball, and it's going to be fun because we play together. And I just love the version of what they're looking at. They've identified themselves as one of those teams around the league that you don't want to just take them for granted, and that's a good thing.
Mark Sweeney joins us on KMOX. Do you believe, Mark, that it is more important or that coaching is even more important when you have a collection of young players like this team? I believe nobody in the lineup is even 30 yet.
Yeah, Chris, I think it's just it resonates more. They're starving to get better every single day. And I say that because when guys are established, there's expectation. There's also a bubblegum card that really showcases you have a resume that has a lot of clout. These guys don't have that yet. And I think it's refreshing to go out there and play this form of baseball. But yes, I mean, the messages that are being sent by Ollie all down to the coaching staff, and we've mentioned the coaching staff a lot because they are very good at what they do, but also there's a huge buy-in. And when you're buying in and then you're also putting out the results and winning series, winning games, it starts snowballing in the right direction. It's been really fun to watch.
When you have a young crew like this, do leaders start to emerge, and have you seen that this year?
Yeah, I think so. They emerge. I mean, we're not in the locker room to see exactly that. It's not a single leader where you had a veteran guy at times. And when I was here, it was Ozzie. We have team meetings, and Ozzie would be the last guy to talk, and you understood why. These guys are young. They're identifying themselves as leaders. There's personalities. They love what they do. You see the social media posts and coming after the game, and they're commending who was the player of the game. I love that stuff because that's when you get in the locker room. That's how you create a certain atmosphere that you have as a club. You turn up the volume on the radio, and you get to celebrate a win in the big leagues, which I think this group understands how to celebrate and also win series, which I think is very important too.
We have talked a lot in the first month, 6 weeks of the season about the start by Jordan Walker, who had a little bit of a blip there for a week or so, where the results weren't there, but they've been coming back over the last couple of weeks. Ivan Herrera is starting to play really well, starting to hit well. J.J. Weatherholt has been really good, and he seems to be getting better. Is there a particular guy in the lineup right now that you are most impressed by?
I would say JJ because the calmness and the ability to look like he's been there for 10 years. And we hear that from guys that are in the locker room because they know him better than we do. Leadoff position is not supposed to be that easy. And he takes at bats. He doesn't give any away. So I think that, Chris, is probably the most important thing. Me watching him is that his calmness, his demeanor, he's very comfortable in his own skin. And young guys don't usually have that. They hope for the start that he has had. But I think he has a calmness about him that is very, very different than most rookies. And he has been probably extra special. But to your point, there's a lot of great stories out here. Jordan Walker is a phenomenal story because we were waiting for that. And his consistency, even though he had that tough stretch, the consistency has been there, and the confidence is definitely showing.
When do you think we'll know on him that he has arrived? Because, like you said, we've been waiting on this. We've been waiting on a good extended period of production, and they're getting it now. So when do you think we could be comfortable that, yeah, he has finally figured it out?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. You as a big leaguer, and I remember how it was. You have to feel like you fit in, and not that Jordan Walker didn't fit in because he had a good start to his career and he probably fit in then. But then when you start getting sent back to the minor leagues and you start questioning yourself, it's kind of a restart. I think it's a full year of being at this level, and who knows how long this is going to last to be at that level. But now he has credibility throughout the league. You start feeling it. You're asked more questions in the locker room rather than people walking away from you. They're asking you questions on a daily basis. So it's all encompassing. And I say a full year because this game will humble you in an instant. And Jordan's already gone through that. So hopefully this just puts him in a different light. You're seeing a guy walking around the ballpark differently. He's still putting in the work. And guys that are at the same age of him on the roster are going to be playfully joking around with him and making him feel very comfortable. So I love what I'm seeing, the version of Jordan Walker, but also Brant Brown and his staff has done a phenomenal job getting him prepared and getting him ready. I said this, Chris, the other day on our post-game show. What's great about Jordan Walker is when you have success at this level with powering the baseball, being consistent, and passing the test every series, I think it's going to be important for Jordan Walker to understand that this is the routine that he wants to take into a game, no matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent. And I think that's the reason why a full year of that will get Jordan Walker in that expectation level.
Mark, I know there were a lot of question marks surrounding expectations of this team this year. What has stood out to you about the pitching so far?
I think the starting pitching is settled into what their identity is, too. They pitch to contact. They know what's the defense behind them, as I mentioned earlier. I think there's still decisions to make and also roles to play in the relief corps. Obviously, Riley O'Brien has been excellent, and you start with him when you talk about the relievers. But I think fitting into their roles and understanding their responsibilities and getting better versions of themselves will make this team even stronger, because there has been some hiccups. There's been, we're nervous just like everybody else watching the games when you get to some games that should be put away a little bit easier, and they haven't. But that is the nature of the beast. You look around baseball, there's a lot of relief corps. They're still finding their identity and finding their way. So I would think that's probably the version that would probably you want to get better. But I love the starting rotation and what they've done 7 times around now.
So let me put this to you. The team right now, 35 games into the season, we are almost 3 months away from the trade deadline. If this team still is playing well and they're in a wild card position or, a game or two out of first place, how do you think they should approach the trade deadline? Because we're talking about relief pitching, and right now that's the one thing that stands out, that they could use some help. They could use some help in the relief corps. Knowing what the season was going in, where it's kind of a growth year, or at least that's what we were expecting to happen, and then they start winning, do you think they should alter their plan a little bit? Do you think they should reward the team, the roster, with maybe going out and getting some relief help? I mean, how would you see it if things continue on the path they're on now?
Well, Chris, part of the buy-in is what Chaim has put towards the team and what expectations he has, what he expects from them getting playing time. I don't think plans change, and we've heard it from Chaim too, that he's not going to change his long-term outlook, because I think the mindset is your trade deadline is your development. What are these guys doing in the minor leagues that are earning opportunities possibly to fit in? Because they want to see what's in there. This minor league system is stacked, and we all know that, but there's development phases, and there's always some surprises out there. So I think that's going to be the first mindset. That being said, it's the St. Louis Cardinals, and we all know how important winning is here. We feel it when you're working for them, and you also understand there's a process in place that I think they're very confident about. This is a good start to the year. I love that we're having these conversations, but I think they also understand, too, they have some talent that needs to take on some of these responsibilities of trying to win consistently in the big leagues.
So let me ask you, as a former player, let's say you're in a position like this, and we know what the season was supposed to be about, but you start winning and you get close to a deadline. And again, I know this is a hypothetical because we're far away from it. And let's say the team doesn't make a move. They don't get a reliever. They don't go get a bat or whatever they might need. Are you understanding as a player? Are you thinking, okay, well, we get it because, this is a growth year or whatever, or are you upset because they didn't help out?
I don't think these guys are going to be upset. They've shown to us already their focus is night to night. This day game today is a responsibility and an opportunity for a lot of these young guys to perform. I don't think they're in a position that's probably a veteran that's probably signing somewhere and expecting to win. And when they get in that position, they're probably expecting the front office to do that. I think everyone understands the plan and what they're expecting. They want to win this year. They want to win next year in the years coming. So I think they put themselves in that position. When you're a young player, Chris, you go out there and you take every single day like it's Christmas Day. I really believe that. It's exciting to be a big leaguer. It's exciting to put a different uniform on and have that feeling of you're a big leaguer. That's what these guys are going through and navigating. So I don't think they're going to be worried about that. They worry about the right things, and it's really refreshing for us to watch and be able to see. And that's why we're talking so highly. And nationally, people are talking about the Cardinals and surprising a lot of people. And I think it's a really good thing moving forward.
Really looking forward to today's ball game. Really enjoy talking baseball with you, Mark. Thank you for being with us again.
Oh, I appreciate it. And hopefully we get another Cards win and they get on the road and they play well again. So thank you for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Mark Sweeney, Cardinals TV analyst, former first baseman, former Cardinal, joining us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. And yes, Andre Pallante starts today for the Cardinals against the Brewers here at home. And then the road trip, they're off to San Diego.
San Diego.
That is correct. I love San Diego. Hey.
A lot of people do.
Rick Lee says, I enjoy the Chris and Amy show. He's watching us on YouTube. Says he enjoys the show and enjoys the Gaseous Gang with Chris. No Gaseous Gang today. We should let you know.
Oh, that's a great point.
That's right. Cardinals baseball is happening instead. 11:20 pregame, 12:15 first pitch. Cardinals today on 104.1 FM, KMOX, and the Odyssey app.
At Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans, your health is our commitment. That's why we provide high-quality health coverage at affordable rates to Missourians like you. And unlike other options, you can apply at any time throughout the year, from individual and family plans to dental vision coverage. Our plan options are designed to meet your needs. Together we care, together we grow, together we thrive. Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us. Visit us at mofbhealthplans.com and contact your agent today.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
Right now, inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake up the markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs, so this is not the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve Auld and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, May 6th and May 7th. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines may impact your returns, and whether your retirement strategy is truly stress-tested for today's economy. This event is complimentary, and you must reserve your seat today. 636-230-8824. You can also get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
On Saturday, May 16th, join KMOX and Grassroots Redeeming Love in commemorating 1 year since the historic EF3 tornado that devastated North St. Louis with a short morning of service. Volunteers will meet in the Kingsway East neighborhood from 9 to 11 to help clear tree limbs and trash. If interested in RSVPing for the cleanup or interested in donating to the effort, go to KMOX.com/events for more information.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Stan Musial. He missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Paging all nurses and healthcare heroes. This night is for you. Join the Cardinals for Nurses Appreciation on Wednesday, May 20th and Thursday, May 21st at Busch Stadium. With a special theme ticket, you'll receive a healthcare-inspired Cardinal sweatshirt plus a coupon for a complimentary drink. It's our way of saying thank you for all that you do in our community. Don't miss the special theme at the ballpark. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You both like Christopher Nolan, his
Love
movies,
Christopher
correct?
Nolan. Yeah.
So a full-length trailer for his new movie, The Odyssey, came out yesterday, and apparently people are up in arms. Because in the trailer, Telemachus refers to his father, Odysseus, as Dad. And it said no one in 1200 BC would say that. They call him Dad and Daddy, and people are just saying that it's ruining everything.
Daddy-o.
Wait, hold on. He's calling him Daddy?
So
Really?
let's.
Ooh. I didn't know it was one
Hold
of
on.
those kinds of movies.
Well, you know the ancient Greeks. The gods, the ancient Greek deity hierarchy of gods, those
Philanderers.
they were philanderers. They were always like hitting
Oh.
on their siblings too.
Yeah.
It's wild stuff. Who's the guy that he thought his sister was hot? Yeah.
Zeus, maybe?
I don't know.
Zeus was
Hera was Hera
his
the hot
wife.
sister? No.
Yeah. I'm
At
sure
any
she was
rate,
hot.
who knows, Ron? It might be one of those movies, but people are upset because he refers to Odysseus as Dad. He says, "My dad is coming home."
Well, I don't mind that. I think most people are not going to know. Right? What do they want this to be correct? They want this to be true to the
I think
story.
they're just saying it's a little startling. One fan who was commenting on YouTube said, "This is the first time I'm hearing Dad in a historic epic film." Another says they should never say Dad in a historical epic. It sounds like something from a sitcom.
I love that people are mad about this.
And another, "My dad is coming home," gave real "my father will hear about this" vibes.
Is anybody at any point, does anyone at any point in this movie say, "Get over here, big boy"?
I don't think they use big boy.
I'm okay with big boy.
And it's Dad, not Daddy, so I don't think it is one of those films.
Daddy.
But they're just said hearing Tom Holland talk about Dad, just it kind of takes away from the gravity of this Greek tale.
It should have called him Papa Bear. I think that
come
would
on.
be more fitting. Don't you think?
But you saw the trailer, correct?
Well, I have not seen this trailer. No, I saw what I saw was a. Now that I think about it, it was maybe the teaser, or it was something that came out months ago. Maybe it was just some footage of the film. It wasn't the official trailer, I don't think, but it was. I think it was a teaser. So
just
that's
think,
what I've seen.
You know, the trailer, you spend hundreds of millions of dollars creating this world of ancient Greece.
Some things are going to fall through the cracks.
And then you say Dad. I think it feels more. It feels more like Bugs Bunny when he dresses up like an ancient Greek, and you're like, it's ancient Greece, but it's Bugs Bunny.
Well, that's what this is. It's a Christopher Nolan movie.
This is a Bugs Bunny vibe to it.
You should have said, "My old man's coming home."
Yeah, my old man. Hey, they probably in the movie say, "Don't sweat it, baby. It'll be all right."
You two are. Sometimes I wonder why I show up to work with you too.
It'll be all right. I can't wait to see the movie, though.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this ruins it for you.
Pretty much any Christopher Nolan movie.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. That's literally what this is.
No, it's not.
Dad?
It's all right. I think people are making too much of it.
They're gonna cut someone in half, really, with a sword.
No.
Run them through.
Yeah.
Dad?
No. I think it's gonna be all right. What's up, Chief? Everything good?
Big boy?
Hey, big boy. Get over here, big boy. All right. Hey, a lot of people checking in on In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, they are.
Some people think it's great. Another one says, "Man, is it overrated." You can text us. We're not getting one in Missouri. We should get one in. Come on, we can't get one in Missouri or Illinois.
Flyover country. That's why they call us that.
You know what would happen if they do bring it here? Lines for days. That's what would happen. I'm telling you. It'd be like Shake Shack when it opened the Central West End. You couldn't go for like 3 months. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Cardinals pregame coverage happens at 11:20.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills? Switch to Red Pocket Mobile. With Red Pocket Mobile, premium 5G plans start at just $10 a month. Pick a plan, lock in your rate, and that's the number you'll see on your bill every month. No hidden fees and no long-term contracts. And here's the kicker. Red Pocket lets you choose from 3 major 5G networks, not just one. Pick the network that actually works where you live and where you work. Try one, and if you like it, keep it. If not, switch to another. Never be stuck with a single network again. Plus, keep your phone, keep your number. Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
New customers can switch and save 50%. Choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price and no contracts at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about the Burn Balance Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. And it's Burn Balance Edge for the guys. It's Burn Balance Zen for the women. And what this is very simply a complete metabolism system. It's not just a simple fat burner. It's way more than that. It works with your body to get the metabolism working the way that it's supposed to. So what you notice right away, what I've noticed here in the first couple of months is your shirt will lay a little bit flatter, your pants fit a little bit looser. It's not like that as immediate, but it comes pretty fast. This is a great natural weight loss option for people that don't want prescriptions or injections. If those aren't for you, go to Supplement Superstores and check out the Burn Balance Complex. On top of getting the metabolism working, you're going to get reduced stress with lower cortisol levels. You're going to have appetite control and craving control, all-day focused energy without the jitters that come with energy drinks. And look, it's not magic. You got to do things the right way, but the Burn Balance Complex makes it so much easier. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex for you right there, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock. Right now, we've got cloudy skies, 54 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. St. Clair County Emergency Management Agency has been on the scene of a coal train derailment in East Carondelet on Davis Street Ferry Road. 13 coal cars derailed. That street is currently closed. No reports of injuries. President Trump continues sending out threatening and conciliatory messages about the conflict with Iran. And now as Pakistan seeks to bring negotiators together to end the conflict, the president has halted the Navy escorts of ships through the Strait of Hormuz while telling Iran to make a deal. Here's CBS's Natalie Brand.
The president, continues to tout progress in his social media posts. And also, yesterday in the Oval Office, he continued to say that Iran wants to make a deal badly. But we do not yet have any specifics on really the details of where they are in these negotiations.
There's new research showing that whether most of your social media friends are actually buddies or strangers does not affect your level of loneliness.
A study of 1,500 between the ages of 30 to 70 finds that connecting online with people you've never met doesn't affect your level of loneliness. But Brian Primack at Oregon State University says
the gold standard of human relationship is in-person relationship.
He says the study raises concerns about having too many interactions with people who are strangers, and though it isn't bad to be friends with people who are close personal friends,
it maybe isn't the panacea we were looking for.
Past research shows that people who feel lonely are more than twice as likely to develop depression. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Thursday evenings may get a little hotter this summer for St. Louis runners.
Our brand new Summer Sizzle series is a series of short distance races happening all throughout late June and July into early August, every other Thursday in the evening.
That's Mona Vespa, president of Go St. Louis. She says every race will feature a different location and race length. The first Summer Sizzle race is a 2-miler at Shaw Park coming up on June 26th. From the KMOX business desk, a small business success story. Dogtown Pizza started 20 years ago in Rick Shaper's kitchen. He says he would always make pizzas for his kids.
I was having a pizza party one day, and my neighbor, who's a firefighter, said, I can't make it to your pizza party. Can you put one in the freezer and I'll bake it tomorrow? And that's where I got the idea.
This year, Dogtown is on track to sell 2 million pizzas. They've moved out of Shaper's Dogtown Kitchen for a production facility on the north side. He says frozen pizza sales have not declined in 40 years.
This afternoon will be cool with clouds giving way to some sunshine, the high 62, then partly cloudy tonight, though 44. Sunshine and some clouds tomorrow, high 68. Friday, some sun early, then clouds increase. It'll become breezy and warmer with a shower or perhaps a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Friday's high 75. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 54 degrees and cloudy. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy for Team Renner here, America's oldest family-owned garage door company serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Cardinals pregame coming up in just a few minutes. A handful of minutes.
15 and a half to be exact.
15 and a half minutes.
Yes.
As they take on the Milwaukee Brewers here at Busch Stadium. Ronj, you know that there's the old adage that you can't make your candle shine brighter by blowing out someone else's candle. But the thing
I've
is,
heard it. You totally can. But
if you blow out all the other candles,
yours is the only candle.
it's pretty bright.
Mhm.
It is. It's going to look pretty bright. And I thought that was just our stupid little mindset. Because you're kind of a terrible person at times.
What, me?
Yes, you.
I've never hurt anybody.
Well, the Instagram algorithm found me, and this was a podcast. One of the comedians is John Crist. I'm not like super familiar with him, but I've definitely seen some stuff before. And this moment in their podcast, just this moment, not the whole podcast. I don't follow these people. I don't follow their podcasts. I've not really that familiar with them. And yet this moment of all moments popped up on my algorithm last night.
When he goes, John, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, comparing yourself to people that are better than you.
Right.
Compare yourself to worse people.
You feel great.
It's the source of joy.
Yes. That's where all my joy comes from.
Yeah, if you're a little bit chubby, like don't go to the gym, go to Golden Corral.
Mm-hmm.
You'll feel way better.
Yeah, take a trip to Walmart.
You'll feel great about yourself. Compare yourself to other people. That's what you mean.
It's not the comparing, it's you're bad at comparing.
Yeah, you're comparing yourself to the wrong people.
Be a better comparer.
Absolutely nailed it. Could not be any more correct. Could not be any more
There's
correct.
always someone to compare yourself to.
Yes,
There
there
are
is.
8 billion people in this world.
There's nothing. Yes, don't compare yourself to Olympians.
That's my problem. I feel like a real loser
Why do you think
sometimes,
Jerry
most of the
Springer
time.
was such a popular show?
Why?
Because people were looking at them saying, "Oh, glad I'm not those people."
It's true.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It makes you feel better
and we
about
like-
yourself when there's like on Jerry Springer a lady and there's like 8 men. Isn't that who's the father? Wasn't that his?
That was Maury Povich.
Oh, what was Jerry Springer just fighting?
Just yeah. I mean, there were fights and family quarrels and relationship stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that have just weird things that happen. But
Yeah.
people watched it. It became a hit, and it happened because he used to try to do the Phil Donahue thing to be sort of a serious talk show guy.
Yeah.
Right. And then they quickly discovered, because he was on during the day, that when they started having these people who were just going at each other, that was a ratings dynamo.
They would like throw the chairs.
Oh, yeah. Stuff would get out of hand. It got so violent that the bouncer, Steve, became part of the show because he'd have to step in and pull people apart. So Steve, and then he ended up getting his own show, which I think he still has, the Steve Wilkos Show. Yeah, but that's why we watched it, because we were like, oh, my God, thank God I'm not those people. Thank God I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes a lot of sense.
And I think there's nothing wrong with comparing yourself to somebody else and going, man, I'm so glad I'm not that
is Jerry
piece of crap.
Is Jerry Springer in some way it lit the fire for reality shows that are just bizarre? I know it wasn't truly a reality show, it was a talk show, but there is a reality show element of it because it's so absurd.
Well, The Real World was the first reality show, and that was pre-Springer.
I just remember I used to be part of the TMBG, which is not They Might Be Giants, but the Thursday Morning Breakfast Club. And we would use running as an excuse, but we'd go on a run, but then we had to go to a dive breakfast joint all across the city. We drove all over the St. Louis area, the bi-state area, to go run somewhere and then go find breakfast somewhere at a dive place. And I remember one place we actually tried 2 weeks in a row to find it, and we couldn't find it, so we had to abort the mission. But we finally found it, and it was such a dive, greasy spoon, like dirty, old.
Is this story about to culminate in you telling me about how much better you thought you were than everybody else in the diner?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm saying it was perfect because we walked in, and it was like I said, just greasy spoon with the bar stools, right, at the diner, and a box television mounted on the wall near the ceiling in the corner with Jerry Springer on it.
That's just perfect.
And it was so it took us 2 or 3 weeks to find this place because I'm like, where is it? I don't even think they had a sign. But it was really funny, and we walk in, and the TV is flickering, and it's a box television.
Yeah,
I don't think
the
I've
old
ever
kind.
seen. Yeah,
Probably still had an antenna.
Yes, and that's why it was flickering. That's why the screen was flickering. And what I remember is people were throwing the chairs off the stage.
I know I have told you my one interaction with Jerry Springer on the elevator. I did tell you about this, right?
But remind me, because it's been a while.
So my station in Chicago I worked at called The Score was when I started was in the NBC tower there, because it used to be WMAQ, which was a news station. Then they, the signal changed, whatever. So The Score was in that office for a while, and Jerry was on I forgot what floor. We were on the 6th floor, and we had to take the same elevator. So one time I was on the elevator with him, and it was just me, and then he gets on. And I was like, oh, Jerry Springer. And he's doing the thing where you're stressed out and you're tired, and he's got the glasses on, and he's rubbing the bridge of his nose with his under his glasses, like he looks frustrated and tired.
Yeah.
And I said, you having a long day? And he goes, yeah, I got 2 more of these shows to film. And then I was like, yeah, you'll get through it or whatever. And then the door opens up and he gets off. And as he's getting off the elevator, he says, and these shows are so stupid. And then that was it. That was it. That was my Springer interaction.
That's awesome.
It was great. I'm glad that's the only time I ever talked to him, and that's all he ever said.
That's perfect.
They're so stupid.
Oh, my gosh.
We had the Jenny Jones show in the building. Same thing. Same kind of crap. I mean, she wasn't it wasn't as insane as the Springer show was, but it was a similar idea. Steve Harvey was in that building for a while.
I know I've told you this story before, and this was a guy, I don't know him personally, but he was telling this story. And it reminds me of how you're perfect Jerry Springer interaction. Just don't change it. It was perfect.
Yep.
He said he was riding the subway in New York, and he's sitting across from a guy, and he
This
thinks,
is the John Lovitz story.
Yeah, he goes, is that John Lovitz? And he's sitting there, and he's like, man, I don't want to bother him, but I love John Lovitz. Is that John Lovitz? So he leans forward just a little bit and said, excuse me, are you John Lovitz? And he doesn't answer. So he sits back and he's like, should I ask him again? So he leans forward. Excuse me, are you John Lovitz? The guy doesn't acknowledge him at all. It doesn't answer him at all. And he sits back and thinks, okay, well, this is embarrassing. And, it's either not him or he's ignoring me or I don't know. And the train comes to a stop and the door is open and the guy stands up, turns to him and says, well, am I?
And it was.
And it was.
I love that. That's really great.
Well, am I?
I have a texter who says,
so good.
Says, don't forget the Jenny Jones show led to a murder. And I am just now remembering this. Yeah, they did an episode where it was a secret admirer episode. And it turned out it was like a same-sex secret admirer. And the guy.
Oh, you told me about this.
The guy who was being admired freaked out and killed the other guy.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Did the show go off the air?
I don't remember. That was in the mid-90s. So, no, it must not have because she was on the air in the early aughts over there. The Jenny Jones show. We had the Judge Joe Brown show, too.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of stuff going on in that building when I was there.
That just reminds me of these talk show names. Jefferson Lake in Forest Park by the skating rink and the Central West End.
Yeah.
It's the big lake. One of my friends could never remember that lake's name, and we would reference it, and so it became Ricky Lake, and now we just call it Ricky Lake. But we're not laughing. It's just, hey, I'm gonna go on a run. I'm gonna go around Ricky Lake and come back. I'm like, okay, that's
Ricky Lake.
It's Ricky Lake.
Never watched that show. I had a roommate who would never miss Springer.
Yeah, Sally
Recorded
Jesse
it.
Raphael with the big glasses. Remember her?
Of course, I remember Sally Jesse Raphael. Hey, we had a good time today.
Yeah,
and
we did.
Unfortunately, coming to an end for us. But Cardinals baseball's coming up, and they've been a great time lately. So we know you're going to stick around and listen in here on the Odyssey app or 104.1 FM, 1120 AM. And then we'll be back tomorrow. The Chris and Amy show happens at 9 o'clock. We will join you with, we're going to have Major Garrett tomorrow. He'll be on the show, as he always is on Thursdays at 10:30. Have a great day. Enjoy Cardinals baseball today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. For Amy Markscores, I'm Chris Ranji. Redbirds and the Brewers next on KMOX.